Hey everybody, it's Josh. How are you? I'm back with another movie review. I have returned to the cinema from whence I came, and I saw the movie Presence. This is a January horror movie, but not really one like any other, because this is Steven Soderbergh, the prolific director who's been around forever and keeps retiring and then coming back and making more great movies, and screenwriter David Koepp. Interestingly enough, and they have teamed up again. They've teamed up before, but they've created calling it it's not really a horror movie, it's a ghost movie, it's a haunting movie called Presence. And it has a gimmick, and we know how much cinema loves its gimmicks. I have some notes here so I don't forget names of people. The gimmick here, I guess it's reductive and dismissive to call it a gimmick. The conceit of Presence is that it is a haunting movie. It's a ghost story, but it is told entirely from the perspective of the presence, the ghost, the spirit. So we have a first-person camera, and we only see what it sees. It starts off in a closet in an empty house, and then it goes and moves over to the window, and people are moving in, and then it observes the family that moves in, and then it eventually, begins to perhaps interact with them in certain ways. And the result is that, you've got really interesting cinematography. Weirdly, there's another first-person perspective movie in theaters now, Nickel Boys. I have not seen it yet, but there's a connection to a possible comparison to another movie that I'll mention later. But the result is you have a bunch of one-shot scenes. The actors have to perform every scene. There is no cutaway from this perspective. So the scenes can be short or they can be longer. The entire movie is not one shot. We get a lot of fade to black, but every scene is contiguous, and the actors have to perform every scene in the space of this house. The camera never goes outside of the house, and so that's a challenge to the actors. And as far as the gimmick, the conceit, I would say it's very successful. Soderbergh knows what he's doing. He shoots his own movies. He edits his own movies, and this is a very thoughtful, quiet movie. There's maybe a couple of jolts, but it's not a jump scary movie. It's an atmosphere movie, and it's an ideas movie. And I didn't want to forget the actors. Lucy Liu and Chris Sullivan play the mom and dad of this family, but the kids are Kalina Liang as Chloe and Eddie Madej as Tyler. It's a family of four. There's a mom and a dad and two kids, and the performances are fantastic. But when we move into the characterization and the writing, this is where I ding this movie a little bit. The direction and the cinematography and the execution of the conceit is all excellent. This is a really excellent movie to watch. It's also very short. It's a 90-minute movie. A lot of 90-minute movies this season, this January season, and I'm thankful for it. I'm seeing Companion next, and that's another short thriller that should be fun. But anyway, but in the writing of this story, the telling of this story, we have basically a family that's divided, a family that's dysfunctional, and that's, of course, there's a long lineage of that now, right? That Spielberg and Shyamalan and a lot of these genre movies made kind of by these directors with broad appeal, they like to do the dysfunctional family drama as kind of the heart of a horror movie or a thriller. As opposed to just kind of like popcorn thrills and a bunch of teenagers getting knocked off or whatever. And so it's kind of a typical setup, but what's extraordinary in this movie, to me anyway, and I haven't heard anybody else really talk about this, but the just the nastiness of this family. It's really divided between the mom and the son. The mom, who clearly favors Lucy Liu and the son character Tyler, and how much she loves him, and what frankly awful people they both are, and then how sensitive and loving the dad is, and how much he cares for the daughter Chloe. Chloe has lost a friend who has passed away due to some kind of nebulous situation, possibly involving drugs. And so she's going through a lot, and she's very sensitive to the presence in the house. And the dad is very sympathetic, while the mom and the son are very, very nasty about it. And it's this, I know that it's like typical of these kind of movies, and it's a movie, so it's drama, so you want to have conflict. But I just thought like everybody was so divided and so like nasty in this movie. It was really weird. And then I can't say the other stuff that didn't work for me without getting into spoiler country, so I won't. I'll just say there are characters that come in from outside that, to me, there was so much going on, so much conflict going on in the family. I didn't understand why additional stuff was brought in from the outside. That's all I'll say. And then I guess the only thing left to say is what I was teasing earlier, that this movie makes an interesting comparison to the movie Here from late last year, because it's a completely different genre of movie. Here was not a haunting movie, a ghost story, horror story, but it was a camera stuck inside a house for the entire story, giving us one-shot vignettes. And that camera couldn't move. This camera can move up and down the stairs and through. It just can't leave the house. But right down to some of the tricks with mirrors and what happens at the end regarding this perspective. I won't spoil it. I'm assuming you haven't seen Here, because nobody has. But I was just taken back by what a disaster the gimmick of Here turned out to be. What a unpleasant experience it was watching Here, versus how well everything works here. This is a movie that, is technically proficient. The camera work is great, but it's not overly obsessed with the technicalities of its filmmaking the way that Zemeckis' recent movies have all been. But I don't want to use this movie to take another shot at Here, but that just occurred to me how interesting it is that so soon after Here, we have another movie that features a trapped camera in a house, and observing one family over a period of time, much shorter period of time in presence than in Here, and only one family. It doesn't go through history like in Here. But anyway, those are my thoughts about the movie Presence. It's very good. It's not perfect, but it's worth seeing, and worth seeing in a theater if you can. I love that movies are coming out in theater release again, and I couldn't be more excited. This has been a fantastic January. Hopefully that'll continue into February, and then when we get past the Oscars, get into the kind of spring summer blockbuster season, we'll see what we get. But I'm here for this year of movies, and thank you so much for listening. And you can check out all the new stuff if you're a fan of Fun with Shorts. Fun with Shorts is coming back on a fairly regular basis. There'll be a new episode up soon. And lots of fun behind the scenes stuff going on over on Patreon. So you're invited to join us there. I'm losing my light, and I'm losing the definition on my shot here. So I'm going to say thank you very much. I bid you peace, and I'll see you next time. Josh out.